Wanna know who's going to win this year's playoffs? My uncle works at the NBA. Alright, so this is how it's going to pan out in the West. If you had asked me just a few months ago about the strongest contender in the West, I definitely would have pointed out the Dallas Mavericks. I was sure Luka was going to come back from his injury stronger than ever before, and that they would be able to beat OKC once again. Especially this time, with Gafford and PJ Washington having a full season as a Maverick behind them, and after the Mavericks acquired semi-washed Klay Thompson. I wasn't sure how they would have matched up against the Denver Nuggets, since that confrontation has been reserved for the Los Angeles Lakers for a while now. But my hopes were high for another finals run in Dallas. As we all know, we can scratch the idea of that happening ever again, since Dallas Mavericks GM Nico Harrison threw all of those aspirations out of the window with the Luka trade. I don't have to get into the details about how lopsided that trade truly was, but it ultimately led to Kyrie playing the most minutes of his career and tearing his ACL, ruining the remaining chances the Mavericks had at a decent playoff run. With the majority of the team being injured only a couple of weeks after the All-Star break and fans rioting outside and inside of the American Airlines Center, the Dallas Mavericks are looking straight into the abyss. From championship contenders to a poverty franchise in a single season. Not even Santel could make this up. If only Mark Cuban had never sold his majority stake in the team.
Think, Mark!
Even the return of AD won't change the trajectory the team is having. The Mavericks are lucky if they even make the playoffs with this squad.
Pathetic.
The winners of the Luka trade were obviously the LA Lakers, who I did not expect to perform this well, missing a serious center. But Jackson Hayes has been working wonders, and Luka's lob threat can turn every mediocre center into prime check. Austin Reeves has turned into the second coming of Kobe Bryant, becoming the third best option in the NBA. Dalton Knecht is apparently not holding a grudge for being traded in the middle of the season as a rookie. You can be damn sure I would. And even with LeBron being out due to a dick injury, Luka held the fort pretty well. Sure, they didn't win the majority of those games, but Luka had a decent plus-minus, and after a lackluster beginning with the Lakers, Luka already made more triple-doubles in a Lakers jersey in one season than LeBron or Kobe Bryant. Who wants to tell me he's not the next GOAT?
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, with Bron's return, there aren't many teams that could beat the new-look Lakers in a 7-game series. Since the Denver Nuggets have been owning the Lakers for the last couple of seasons, I'm looking forward to the inevitable playoff encounter between Luka and Jokic. Only that this time, the Nuggets roster looks way worse than before, especially without Jokic. But we will be talking about that situation in a minute.
I don't feel bad at all.
I'm pretty sure the Lakers could beat the Grizzlies or the Golden State Warriors in the first round and make it all the way to the conference finals. But they will ultimately lose if they face the OKC Thunder. Only time will tell. Now let's talk about LeBron's favorite opponent. The Warriors season was an up and down all year long. It all started with the trade for Buddy Hield, which seemed like the perfect replacement for Steph's splash bro Klay Thompson. But as the season progressed, the infamous Buddy Hield cycle started to show itself. I'm glad the Warriors started to turn things around for themselves. Since the Jimmy trade, Curry is finally getting the help he deserves. Even I wouldn't have guessed that Jimmy could be this influential on the floor. But it's actually no wonder when you think about how he brought a mediocre roster all the way to the NBA Finals. Twice. We're not gonna talk long about Golden State, since I don't believe they actually have a chance of winning yet another ring. But deep down in me, there's this feeling that they could make another conference finals. But only if Curry explodes again, such as in the series against the Sacramento Kings, where he averaged almost 34 points.
Three-pointer. Punch it in!
The OKC Thunder is one of those teams I prefer to leave out when talking about the NBA. Not because I don't like their way of playing or because Shai is a free throw merchant, nuh-uh. It's mainly because everything is just too perfect. Heading into the season, my favorite to win it all were the OKC Thunder. It was an easy bet and the only logical choice. But there's no drama, no hiccups, just pure hoops. And who watches the NBA for that? No, but in all honesty, I respect the shit out of the OKC front office, having built such an outstanding core of young talent and surrounding them with high-level role players. Shai can go for 40 whenever he wants. Chad is an all-star center in his sophomore season. Isaiah Hartenstein is the best German center since Daniel Theis. Alex Caruso is a pain on defense, and Jalen Williams can go for 20 on any given night. And we haven't even talked about the future picks. As long as they don't hire a GM like Nico Harrison, OKC's future seems bright for the next decade to come. They have the young superstar in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and even if it doesn't work out, they can still use all of their picks to either surround him with amazing talent or rebuild in an instant. Although Shai is an essential part of OKC's success and a master of aura farming, many people call him a free throw merchant. And although he takes a ridiculous amount of free throws, it's mostly justified because of his high volume of drives and his preference to play in the paint. As much as I love to hate him, the hate is unjustified. The playoffs in particular will truly demonstrate how good Shai really is, due to fouls being called more proficiently. Alright, enough of the dick riding. So what's my prediction? Last year, I did not expect them to win a chip due to a lack of playoff experience, but that's different now, and I believe they will at least make the conference finals this time around, unless they run into Luka again. A team that seemingly never runs into Doncic during the playoffs are the Denver Nuggets. For the first time ever, Jokic looks like he actually cares about his job, and it's scary. Averaging a 29-point triple-double for the season and turning his Nuggets from a laughingstock to title contenders whenever he gets on the floor. But as amazing as Jokic is, the rest of the team just doesn't have it. As much as I love to see Brown's development and watch Murray's game, the Denver Nuggets are cooked. First of all, after the championship run in 2023, the front office should have never traded key pieces of the rotation, such as KCP, who's playing for the Orlando Magic at the moment, shooting horrible splits without Jokic. Secondly, apart from Jokic, they do not have a reliable center they can turn to during his off time. But hey, at least they have Michael, the possession ends with me, Porter Jr., who's shooting almost 30% from free. That will definitely be enough to beat teams like Boston, OKC or Cleveland.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting cooked.
I can only see them going far if the playoff chip in Jamal Murray's head activates again and he hits buzzer beaters left and right. But a boy can only dream. I think it will be another second round exit, especially if they have to face the Lakers again, like every other year.
Yeah, boy.
The Minnesota Timberwolves would currently have to play against the LA Clippers in the play-in, which I could definitely see them win. But apart of that, it's going to be tricky. Don't get me wrong, I'm really excited for Anthony Edwards' playoff hoops, because he's the kind of player that thrives under pressure, and I'm curious to see if the Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert situation truly got better, but I feel like a second round exit is more likely, with how this season went so far. I'm rooting for baby MJ though, and Dante DiVincenzo can also get on fire easily, but this year they are not conference finals material, I'm sorry. I don't have much to say about the Houston Rockets, other than that Alperen Sengun has huge potential to become an all-NBA player one day, and that Amen Thompson is the better player out of the twins. Crucify me for that statement, I don't care. In the end, it all boils down to the lack of playoff experience, which is why I feel like they could cause an upset, but I don't see them past the second round anytime soon. For more amateur content like this,
hit the subscribe, like, and share button.
and leave a comment.